it's Newport County v Bradford City match preview. Don't forget to tell me if you think's going to win the game tomorrow, and don't forget to tell me if you think's going to score in the comments down below. See you after the intro. So at the time of recording this, Mark Hughes hasn't done his press conference, so I can't really give you what he said in that press conference as information. But I can tell you the update on Tom Elliott's injury. He's had a minor setback. He won't be available for tomorrow's game, but he will be available maybe for next weekend. So he's just had a week setback after the week in training. And also an update on the contracts. Hughes said he's not hanging around with a contract. There's 12 senior contracts up at the end of the season. He wants to get them all tied down. The players he wants to keep tied down because he don't want other clubs sweeping in for him. So yeah, let's get into the form of. We'll start off with Newport. They've got 10 points from 5. A draw against Forest Green, a win against Bristol, a win against Stevenage, a win against Carlisle, and a defeat to Hartlepool United, who we beat last. So they've had one extra day off, which means nothing. But yeah, they're the 4th best away team in the league. So it's going to be tough because we're one of the worst home teams. And I'm very pessimistic going into this game. If I'm speaking from the head, I don't think we'll win. If I'm speaking from the heart, obviously, I hope we'll win. But I'm going into it very pessimistic, like I am with every game going into the end of the season now. But it's League 2, anyone can beat anyone on the day doing the same league, because obviously there's a quality difference between the two teams, maybe a confidence difference as well at the minute, with that defeat to Port Vale. But our last 5, we've got 6 points from the 5 games, a defeat to Mansfield, a defeat to Swindon, Mark Hughes' first 2 games in charge, a win against Forest Green Rovers, a win against Hartlepool, and defeat to Port Vale. So we haven't won in 5 home matches, which is poor. We haven't won in 7, but we haven't had a defeat. We've had 5 straight defeats. That's what I'm trying to say anyway. But yeah, we're really poor at home. We're still the 20th worst home team in the league. I think we've got 20 points or 19 points from home fixtures this season, which is purely not good enough. And there could be many reasons for why the players aren't turning up at home. But there were positives to take from that Port Vale game, which we are seeing ourselves saying when we lose, which is a positive. But we do need to start winning at home to build the momentum going into next season, because if we go into next season without a home winning how many games we've still got left at home, it's demoralising for both the players and the fans and the manager, and you'll find yourself questioning yourself at home. And yeah, we want Valley Parade to become a fortress, and a fortress that we all know it can be with a 25,000 capacity seater stadium. But going into the players to watch for them, I think they've got one massive standout player in Dom Telford, who scored 24 goals in League 2 this season, which is obscene, really. However, you could say, well, Forest Green Rovers have got 2 strikers who have scored around 40 put together. But yeah, they are. You look at them and you do think one club team, but they're not. They're well organised. They're obviously up there for a reason, because you're not just up there because the strikers scoring 20 odd goals a season, and they've had a couple of managers this season. Michael Flynn got sacked. I think they were around mid-table. The caretaker who was in charge, I think he had 4 unbeaten matches and then got took over by I can't remember his name, but I think he had connections at Newport already. And he's doing a pretty good job for it seems. They're in the playoffs again. They do seem to be a team who are constantly in League 2 playoffs, and did they get to a final last season? No, they didn't. I think they got to the semis, because I think it was Forest Green v Morecambe. And yeah, I think Dom Telford obviously is a key player for Newport, and I think he's one of the reasons why they are up there this season. Obviously, Matty Dolan, he played a few games for City. I think he played around 20 in his time at City. He was struck by injuries and he wasn't the best player when he played for City when we were in League One. And I think he's at a club in Newport where that's probably his level. And he's doing well there. He scored 2 goals against us in the last time. That it wasn't the last time I played. It was one of, I think it was the third last time I played against Newport. So I think there were 2 dead ball situations as well with the penalty and the free kick, and we ended up losing the game 2-1. And that went to Cardiff City Stadium as well because we couldn't play in the Rodney Parade. So yeah, it's going to be a tough game, and they've got a couple of good players in that side, and it's mainly a well organised team who are up there for a reason, unlike us. Anyway, head-to-head wise, last 5 games against each other, we haven't beat them in 4. We beat them in 1-0 last time, back in 2019, thanks to a James Vaughan penalty under the management of Gary Bowyer. So that's how long ago it was since we beat Newport, but it seems like every team's our bogey team in League 2 because we really do struggle against many teams. Oldham, to think off my head, Harrogate as well, and Newport we don't seem to have had a good record against either. So my team for the game would be Bass, Hendry, O'Connor, Songo, Folds. Obviously, I haven't seen the update on Watt. If Elliot Watt can play, I'd play him in that defensive midfielder role. Pereira, Cook, Evans, Cook and Lavery. I do like them 2 up top. I can see why he would go 1 up top with Cook though, as he has been for most of his time in charge at City. If Watt's unavailable, I'd probably go with a 5 at the back, 3 at the back, with Bass, Pawdy, O'Connor, Songo, Folds, Hendry in right wing back, Sutton in left wing back. He's very versatile, Sutton, and I think he's one of the players who, no matter where you play him, he'll give everything to the course, and I think he'd do a good. I think he'd do the job there. I think he'd be decent because I haven't heard on Whitehall yet. So yeah, I'd probably play Sutton in left wing back and Cook in the sort of midfielder role. I think would be vulnerable in midfield with no one really to put a tackle in. With Cook and Walker, I'd probably play Walker more advanced and switch them round with Pereira in the game. But I do think, obviously, with Cook and Walker in the midfield too, in the most defensive and probably 2 attacking. But with the 5 at the back, I think you've got the cover there with maybe Songo pushing forward a bit. Anyway, I think Evans is a player who's poor in the midfield, but out wide he can do a good job and he will put effort in. I haven't heard on Gilead either recently, so I'd play Evans over Gilead. Pereira seems good, and on the Walker situation, he played 60. He came on the 63rd minute against Forest Green, 76th minute against Hartlepool, and 68th minute against Vale. So he has had more sharpness more game time than Pereira has from his injury, and I think he should be pretty sharp off them 3 games. Maybe to start, and then we could bring him off for maybe a Vernham, and then Andy Cook up top by himself. So it's more. It can be seen as a 3-3-3-1 or a 4-1-3-1, or maybe a 5-2-3. But obviously, Walker would be more advanced. But I want to know what your teams will be in the comments down below. Your score predictions in the comments down below. Will we win a home game under Mark Hughes anytime soon? I don't know, but our fixtures don't get any easier. Looking at them, I think we've got to play Sutton, Tranmere and Northampton, so they don't get any easier in our run into the end of the season. But I'm sure on behalf of the City fan base, we just want to get the season over with and into a transfer window and get some good players in for next season, and that's the aim now, just to get the momentum. But hopefully we can get the win just to ease it going into home matches to the end of the season, going into next season. But anyway, have a good one.